Hello guys, welcome to the trading Parrot. Yes, it's extremely bullish what we are seeing in the weekly candle that is currently in progress. We said in the past video, there is a chance that this 39.38 gets bought up and we push back above this trend line and we close by Sunday then. So in today's video, I'm not gonna focus on how bullish is this, but I'm gonna do quite the opposite. I'm gonna show you a signal, this red one here, that has had in the past 80% accuracy forecasting dumps from 7% up to 60% just a few days after the signal stops triggering. And as part of the review of the performance of this signal that I have featured many times in this channel, I'm also going to show you where is the liquidity in case there is a last shakeout to the downside before we actually get the second attempt to break 48. Guys, if this is the kind of content you like to watch, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I publish a new video. And there are two things that you can do to help this channel grow. Make sure you watch the video until the very end and do not go anywhere without leaving just a tiny comment down below. That will really help the channel. Before we cover the leverage squeeze signal, I'm gonna give you an update on what's going on the daily and on the 4-hour. During the past week, I made two videos and I covered the daily. I said that we are within this channel and that there is a likelihood that we make a push towards the level 60 on the daily RSI. Currently, we are at 48. When I published the video, we were at 36. So we have made some sort of progress pushing towards the upside here. And on the last video, we covered this breakout on the 4-hour and we said this 4-hour breakout was full of fake outs as well. If you remember, days before we have this fake out, then we have this fake out here, and on the third attempt to break out and hold, finally we managed to push. Just so you know, if you're unfamiliar with breakouts based on RSI trend lines, it's extremely rare that you have a breakout on the RSI with momentum and there is no movement to the upside and it ends up being a fake out. Most of the time, all those breakouts end up pushing the price to the upside and there's further continuation on the RSI as well, like this one here. But it's good to know that this is not a setup that always works. So you have to manage your risk just like with any other strategy out there. On the CPR during this month, we've been very bullish, but not as bullish as the previous month. On the previous month, December, we paid a visit to the 3 levels of resistance. These are the 3 green lines here throughout December. And on November, we had a virgin CPR, December was virgin CPR, and finally in January, we broke that virginity and we came back not just with this week, but we also came back below to the first level of support. We haven't touched it yet, but we could say that this is pretty much a bounce from support. Currently, we are sitting at the pivots, and from the point of view of CPR, this looks like a reversal. So let's keep that in mind. From the point of view of NVT, we have a massive breakout here. If this is a fake out, that will be the first time that we see a fake out in the past 4 events that starts from August 2022. From the point of view of on-chain data analysis, this looks very promising to the upside. And in regards to the ratio between inflows and outflows from large wealth holders, there was a little bit more of distribution in the past days. We went slightly from 0.8 to 0.85, so not that much distribution. But yes, it's good to acknowledge that during this bullish move, some large whales are selling or at least sending their coins into the exchanges. Let's focus now on this signal, leverage squeeze. We have had a few candles of 4-hour printing the red signal. We're gonna just focus on the red signal. We also have the signal 2, which consists of the yellow one here. But since we are getting the red, let's just focus on when is the red printing the last times. So for example, here you have a red and it made 16% to the downside. In April 2023, this made almost 20%. Going back into the bear market, here we have a 44, 32. In here, you might not be able to see it. These are more humble returns from the signal. For example, here you have a cluster of signals and there's a move of 6%. This we could say that has a drawdown of 10, but then it still goes 10 downside. This one makes 10%. This from printing only 3%, so not that much. And in here there's a drawdown of 7, but then it dumps 33%. Now we can see as well that in the beginning of this bull run from around 32 to 69, which is the all-time high, we also get a pretty nasty signal. This is definitely a bad signal, but here you also get very good signals. This one is 54 and this one is 18. This is 8%. So you get the point. The vast majority of the signals that you see in the chart are giving some decent return to the downside, but not all of them end up playing out. So if from here we made just the smallest one, maybe a 6%, that will get us back to 39. If we made, let's say, a 20%, I saw many signals giving 20, roughly that amount. This one will give you 34K. And of course, 54, which I doubt we're gonna get, that will get you to 18K, unless there is a holocaust. But I personally tend to respect signals that they have a very good ratio of success. And in this case, as you can see, leverage squeeze doesn't disappoint very often. But where could we go if the signal ends up playing out? Of course, if it doesn't play out and we end up holding by Sunday and we are still here, there's a high likelihood that we attempt again the 48. I already mentioned that, but to the downside, which is the interesting part, if you are on the sidelines and you're hoping to get that sweet entry, we can go to high block capital and we can see that on the 6 months chart, the liquidity starts from 35 all the way to 33.6. So anywhere here, if you have an order and you get it filled, I will consider myself lucky, especially now that everybody's thinking that we're gonna continue going to the upside. So a fake out, coming back down here, filling some orders, less likely, but still on the table, you have 23.4 loaded with liquidity from the past 6 months. On FIRE charts, we can see here that there is liquidity right below the price. And on the 6 months, we already featured this chart all the way to 36 is extremely intense. And if we put it in the 3-year, you can see that this is not comparable to anything except from the bottom of FTX collapse. I'm gonna give you an update on the performance of the bots. Scalper Conservative just made it to 40%, aggressive on 19. You might be wondering why the aggressive is doing less than the conservative. Well, that's because I had it too aggressive. We have this move here to the downside and I have to slow down the aggressive. Aphrodita is on 8% in the past month, Alligator 7%, Messenger 7%, and Absolute No running on BTC is on 5%. I just added to this whole equation a bot called Johano, which you can also copy. That's a very slow but steady profits across all markets. I've been asked to have a bot like this. I just set it up a few days ago, so there hasn't been any trades yet, but let's continue monitoring the performance of these bots and let's see as we go into the actual bull market, what are the figures at the time that we end those bots. If you are interested in copying any of these bots, you can copy all of them or you can copy just one. It's all up to you. You can find a link in the description that says copy trading bots and you don't need to pay any subscription to be able to run them. You just need to deposit into the particular bot that you want to copy. And if you're thinking to trade in this market, I cannot recommend you any other exchange more than OKX. OKX is my favorite exchange for running bots. I use it for futures, for signal bot, for grid bots, and currently I'm also hosting this exclusive event unlocking up to 60,000 in rewards. Just make sure that you open an account on OKX using the link down below in the description. With the same link, make sure that you click join now, deposit, trade, and the more you trade, the more you deposit, the more rewards you can unlock. Guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments if you think that we're going to hold the weekly candle as bullish as it is right now, or if you think that the leverage squeeze signal is just gonna send us back down. And by the way, there's also a breaking point 1 hour sell signal as well. So we got a confluence of 2 sell signals against TA on the weekly, which is also very strong. So it's kind of the clash of the titans right now. Let me know in the comments which one is going to win. Bye bye.